Okay, what we're going to do today is walking tour of Conshohocken. We're standing here on Fayette Street in front of the Borough Hall. So I understand it's a little noisy here. We're going to get out in the neighborhoods, walk around. We're going to look at the coffee shops. We're going to look at some of the restaurants. We're going to look at some of the neighborhoods. If you stick with me, we're going to look at some houses that are currently for sale, anywhere from $425,000 up to $2.2 million. You can have it all here in Conshohocken. I'm Neil. This is Living in Philadelphia Suburbs. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you think I'm out of my mind, let me know. If you're looking to make a move in the Philadelphia suburbs, in the suburbs, out of the suburbs, around the suburbs, anytime in the next 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, because I want to help you make a smooth move in the Philadelphia suburbs. All right, let's get into it right now. So that's Conchi Bakery. Unfortunately now closed. Probably end up being more condos. We're walking up here because we've looked at these properties in the past, right here on Spring Mill Avenue. We've looked at various properties up the street here, older houses, but you know, the new construction's right here. I just wanted to point it out. I mean, there it is. But you have to be prepared to spend $800,000 to $900,000 for one of those twins. There's some singles up on the other side on 9th Avenue, and then there's, you know, those rows, they sold out. I mean, let's face it, people do want a bargain. But you know, as I was just talking to those fellows there, Conshohocken, the demographic is much more educated than the Pennsylvania and even Montgomery County, and younger by a lot. I talked about that in some previous videos. You can find that information. I don't have the figures right in front of me, but you know, younger and more educated means higher per capita incomes, different quality of life. Guy I was just talking to grew up here in Conshohocken, and back in the day it was blue collar and smoke. Battery factory down by the river. There was the Lee Tire, which is now offices. You know, so people made tires, made batteries, worked in the mills. Those days are over. This is a walking town. We've talked about that before. WalkingScore.com shows it as a 93, highly walkable. And you're in the Colonial School District. Walk down here. A couple up there on the 2 corners away, there's a nice Italian restaurant. We saw down there. Bar Luca, down on Elm, which we'll be going to. Bar Sera. So there's plenty of places to eat and drink and meet with your friends. It's a different vibe here in Conshohocken than it was years ago. And it's a real good vibe. So there's money to fix these places up. That house we looked at, that Victorian twin with no air conditioning, man, I don't like that house at all. Because what you're gonna have to do in there is go in there and spend a lot of money. That's Conshohocken. Everything's a hill. Up at the very, very top, 2 couple blocks, is Fayette Street, and we'll get over there. At the top of this hill right here, you can see the flags, that's VFW. Everybody's welcome up there. I've never even been in, but they tell me if you're into beer, they got some cheap beer, great people. They have some live music from time to time. As you can see, you know, there's some newer construction, and you're gonna see the same thing over and over. There's mom with kid having fun. Oh, look at this. This is very interesting. I'm gonna read it to you. The home of Thomas Kennedy, born 1858, died 1917, Archbishop of Silencia, principal of St. Matthew High School from 1875 to 1879, ordained 1887. He was rector of the North American College in Rome, and he was memorialized at the Archbishop Kennedy High School in Conshohocken, which of course is now closed too. So this is where Thomas Kennedy was born. Became a big-time Catholic prelate. It's now apartments. His dad probably worked in the mill. But you know, the Pope just died the other day, so pay some honor and respect to those. But look, this is Conshohocken. You can have your patio furniture out in front of your house, and you don't have to be concerned that things are going to happen. You're going to want to wish you could shoot somebody. hopefully you're getting a good feeling for what Conshohocken really is. We're just out on a weekday enjoying new townhomes, gas fireplace. Okay, what we're gonna do now is go a few blocks away, take a look at another for sale home, and then we're going to go out in Fayette Street and talk about coffee shops and restaurants, because it's loaded and we've never really gotten down to the nitty gritty, so we will today. I hope you don't mind my sunglasses, but it's so bright and glary, I have to wear them. One of the joys of being a more mature fella. Well, there's Edward Friedman, the nut and candy store. It's amazing. You go in there, you almost have to turn sideways to walk down the aisles. You're of a certain age and you remember the candy counters in the corner stores. You go in there and it's a real trip down memory lane. Right down there, a block or so, is the railroad tracks and Schuylkill Trail. So all that's real. That's all the kind of stuff that makes Conshohocken so great. Lady rocking out, back and move a few blocks away. I'm gonna take a little walk around Conshohocken. It's a beautiful spring day. This is Hector Street. Right there is Merenda, which is a pastry shop, Brazilian soul. Watchdog, not very happy. Bar Sarah, right across the street. Great food, outdoor dining. Unfortunately, there's some men with a jackhammer down the street, but what are you gonna do? Jackhammers are part of life in the town. This house here is 1,824 square feet. The asking price is $425. It's been on the market for a little bit. This is it right here with the American flag. The brick needs pointing. It's 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. The taxes are $2,700. I can see that they have a radon expulsion device there. There's some Victorian detailing. House definitely needs paint. Looks like it needs some wood too. Asbestos shingles up there at the top, which I don't know about you, but I figure the only thing you can do is paint over them. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. Oh, it's Bar Luca across the street. That group has a few restaurants, and we're gonna see some more of them. Okay, this is really obnoxious here. This house also has no air conditioning, priced at $425,000. As I said, 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. I was going to keep walking, but that jackhammering is too much. So let's drive to another location and see if we can't start again. So here we are a couple blocks down, still on Hector Street. It's a noisy street, it's a busy street. That's as noisy as it gets. This is the house that's for sale, springtime. 1,267 square feet, $425,000. Does have air conditioning. It's had some work done, but in the seller's disclosure, it says that they didn't get any permits for the work. That's a negotiating point that would have to be addressed. So what's going on in this neighborhood? Right across the street is the TK Club, Thaddeus Kosciuszko. Before the pandemic, they had some great weekly Zydeco dances and music. It's a public space, it's a club, it gets used a lot. Funeral dinners, different types of events. So that's a good thing. As you can see right up there, the large brick building is Edwards and Freeman, the nuts and candy store that we've talked about. Right here, this was recently a small office building from the 1950s. I imagine it's going to be apartments now. They're pouring some concrete. Behind it, you can see is the Conshohocken sewage treatment plant. Living across the street from the sewage treatment plant can be slightly odoriferous at certain times of the year, depending on the amount. What I really wanted to do was walk today, and I think that's what we're going to do. It's pretty bright. Here's some more. It's my favorite saloon, the Conchi Corner. Great cheesesteaks. Here, unfortunately, is the Conshohocken Italian Bakery, which in the fall closed. People were going to retire, and they announced their retirement. And a couple days later, there was an unfortunate fire, and that was it. Ever since, they've been slowly dismantling. Okay, we're over here on Poplar Street. There's the railroad right there. You can see the car coming across, and that's the Schuylkill Trail. Pepperoncini, another, that's in the same group as Bar Luca and Bar Sarah. No big surprise. This is Neil Fish's listing on Elm Street. Elm Street, as you can see, is a lot quieter than Hector Street. The house is priced at $495. It's over 1,500 square feet. As you've seen in the video that I did a few weeks ago, and I'll put a link in the description, this is a really nice rehab, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. This house across the street's rehabbed. These are the new, we looked at these condos right here, townhouses, 600,000. There's the office buildings right there on Fayette Street. Here comes the FedEx man. And that's about as noisy as it gets over here. If you're a family type person, right at the top of the hill is the Conshohocken Elementary School. It's about 2.5 blocks away. So let's CrossFit right there. There's a young couple out for a walk with their dog. But this is the Conchi vibe. People out walking their dog, there they are. Okay, here we're Marywood Park right there, but this is the Marywood house. It was extensively renovated a number of years ago, and the current asking price is $2.2 million. 4 bedrooms on the 2nd floor, 2 bedrooms on the 3rd floor, beautiful public spaces. If you look online, you can see it. It's nice. Nice basement, paved parking in the rear. Obviously, it's been run as a B&B, and you could turn it into your own house. And you know what? At $2.2 million, I was just talking to my friend across the street here. You go down there to the river, you pay over $1 million or around $1 million for a townhouse with thousands of dollars a year of flood insurance premiums, or those single families, which are right down here at the bottom of the hill, $850,000, $900,000, $2.2 million. And this place is big. I don't know exactly how many square feet, because it wasn't my intention to show this house, but it's a big house. So 2.2 makes sense in a way if you wanted to live in Conshohocken and have the nicest house in town. And you can take the grandkids across to the park. A lot of construction going on everywhere. Okay, we're up here at the athletic field. You can walk the track. They have some serious installation. I used to play some professional type semi-pro baseball here, things like that. Obviously this field is being marked out, it looks like for miniature soccer games maybe, I don't know, something like that. It's another great Conshohocken public facility, and over here another park and playground for the kids. This is 11th Avenue right there, so a little farther up. Right over there you can see the houses on the other side of Fayette Street. This is quiet here. But again, if you're into exercise, okay, well, mom and dad and the kids and everybody's over here on the swings. And again, we're not gonna bother people with sticking a camera in their face, but you can see what's going on. This guy left his car running. I wonder why. Why would anybody do that? So this is the athletic field. And we're gonna go over on the other side of Fayette, take a look at one more Conshohocken Park. Okay, we're gonna take a look at the Conshohocken Community Garden. It's right across the street here. Schuylkill Expressway is on the other side. The railroad tracks are right down here. To get you oriented, there's that green office building. Every time we look up, we see it. There goes the commuter train. There's a yoga studio in here. Right there, behind that twin house, the white building is the TK Club, just to keep you oriented. So Fayette Street's right up there. This is the Conshohocken Community Garden. It's early in the spring still. Peas, onions. I saw some strawberry plants. The elementary school has a plot, except the kids been slacking. Got to get them down here. Nice setup. Food pantry, 4th Avenue. We've looked at the food pantry. We've driven by there before. I guess maybe they run this, but the other day I stopped up in Coons Park, which we've been to in the past in our White Marsh vlog. It's right up there on top of the hill. The ladies working in the greenhouse, which right now is completely full of all kinds of vegetables and flowers. First, they're going to sell them. There's going to be a master gardener plant sale, and some of the plants they're growing, they told me, are for this Conshohocken Community Garden. There's the number 97 bus going up to Chestnut Hill. So that'll take you up to the top of the hill, right by the 2 train stations. So you can grab the Chestnut Hill East or the Chestnut Hill West and get right downtown. Community Garden. There's Bar Sarah. Another great neighborhood, eminently walkable. So you can see these townhouses all have parking underneath. We've looked at some of these in the past. You can expect to be in the $600,000 range on those kinds of properties. Right there, the red building is the Feine Nuts and Candy. If you have a chance to go in there, go in, check it out. It's great. Bring your sweet tooth and bring some money, because you're going to want to buy candy when you're in there. Especially if you're a certain age and you remember the candy counters of the corner stores. All those crazy little things that you used to buy, the dots on the paper, and the different kinds of licorice, and the little licorice men, and the flying saucers that are kind of like communion wafers, but they got hard little beads in them. They have all that. It's crazy. It's really good. All right, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go over to Fayette Street, and we're going to walk along, and I wanna show you the coffee shops, and we'll talk about the restaurants. This is just a spring day tour of Conshohocken. I mean, why not? It's beautiful out here. All right, it's gonna be a little noisier here, but you know, this is the main drag. This is Fayette Street, becomes Butler Pike. Went down here to the Ford. This is where George Washington's troops marched that fateful day. That's a relatively new office building there. There's the new hotel. Right in there, in that courtyard, is where the Conshohocken Farmers Market takes place. And look at the cafes. Nudies, new, that used to be years ago a 5 and dime. The Winois, the Chinese takeout, and it's actually pretty good. Chiang Mai, Thai food, very nice. Morning Talk Cafe, another coffee shop. Down there in that building, there's a coffee shop. If we walked up to 4th Avenue Deli, they have great coffee, although nothing fancy, just standard, what I call American coffee. And there's a bagel place up there, great coffee. And then farther up, there's Feine, great coffee. That place, Oyster House and Grill, has gone through many transformations in the last 10 years. I can see they're working on the roof. Be a great rooftop deck. Could do some partying up there. On this side of the street, right here is the Boathouse, famous local watering hole. Okay, food. This used to be El Limon, the taco place, which is now down around the corner. It's now Saigon. It's takeout noodles, basically. Here's an interesting plaque. Conshohocken's first telephone exchange was here in Harry Drugstore, 1883. That was a while ago. Donut shop, fresh donuts, public parking, a quarter for every half hour. These things are obnoxious. I guess they're for, I don't know who they're for. Greek takeout and catering. They have a place to sit in the back. Here's a sushi, something new. Southern Cross Kitchen. This kind of speaks for itself. I've eaten in there a few times. It was a lot of fun. And this place on the corner is a big restaurant. I think they had trouble during the pandemic, and it's currently for lease. The trucks are all running because they got to keep the food refrigerated. And there's El Limon Mexican chain, kind of a Montgomery County chain, doing very well. And then right down the street, you're down to the railroad again and the Schuylkill Trail. You know, there's that green windowed office building we keep looking at as a reference point. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the yellow on the crosswalk down there. The thing about what's going on in Conchi right now, according to the MLS, the demand is fairly light. Within half a mile of Elm Street property that we looked at, there's only 7 houses actively for sale within half a mile. And we know Conchi's only 1 mile square. So that pretty much kind of takes up the whole town, at least more than half of the town. So I still say it's a good time to buy. You have to look at your mortgage as a short-term loan, and you can't, don't go too crazy about it. Let's walk up here, because this is 2nd Street's up here. This is 1st. Somebody, oh, that must be El Limon. They're cooking some carne asada, maybe. It smells really good. Oh, look at this cute garden. Look at that. They wove the branches, and they actually have a little pond. Lilies are going to pop up in there. Nice. I love to see things like that. That's what Conshohocken's all about. And you can do that because nobody's going to molest your little garden. Where, if you're in that place we call Philadelphia, it's nasty. People have no respect. They have no respect for you. They have no respect for themselves. And that's, of course, not everybody. But it's enough people that it makes the whole thing no fun, as far as I'm concerned. There's an interesting old barn. Look at that thing. There's still lots of that tucked around in Conchi, different places. That's really cool. It's going to collapse though. Okay, this is 2nd Avenue. They just made it one-way. There's a big fight because the businesses are not happy. There's an auto shop that's been here, look, for over 100 years. This become an office building. The Snap-on guy, Mike Wright, that must be him right there. Okay, this is Piermonti's, the beer store. You know, Pennsylvania beer distributor. It's only recently in Pennsylvania, some of the grocery stores actually sell beer. In the old days, a couple of years ago, you had to go to a place like that if you wanted to buy beer, and you had to buy it by the case. Things are lightening up. This is an old building, Washington Camp, POSA. I looked that up one time, but I don't remember what it means. Polish Sons of America? Something like that. We can look it up, talk about it later. This is a beautiful building though. Look at the brickwork, it's beautiful. 1891, and that must have been their meeting hall at the, upstairs, and then, rent out downstairs, pay the mortgage. And then across the way, they've had that closed for years, and it used to just be a place to park. I like what they're doing there. Here we're back to the Oyster House. Here's a pizza lady. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
It's a beautiful day out.
God bless.
I love these days. Makes you feel like singing.
Go ahead, break out. That's great.
We'll get back to those days.
Yeah, well, you can't go back to being youth. Everybody wants to go back to their youth.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all that good.
Not youth. I'm just talking about where the world is today.
Oh yeah,
You know
well,
what I'm saying?
yeah, but most people are good. It's just,
Yeah, true.
it's just that little tiny rotten apple that wrecks
You're
the barrel.
right. Yep, you are so right. But it is what it is.
Yep, have a good one.
Take care.
Yep, that's Conshohocken for you. Bridal store, and let's walk back to the car because it said 15 minutes for takeout orders only. Boathouse has awnings up on the roof, and the pizza there is good at that place. And you saw what the people are like. They're great. Over there, Flacco's shoe store. Been there since I was a little kid, and we used to be able to get some super high quality shoes at a discounted price. I think the manufacturer, whose name I won't mention, clamped down on that whole thing. More Boathouse. Oh, the place on the corner is the All-American Pub, not the Boathouse. So this is Ali gas station. He always has a recent immigrant pumping the gas, which is a good thing for the customers and for the recent arrival. These guys are all Indians from Gujarat, I would think it is called. There's the Masonic Hall. So this is 8th Avenue. Across the street here is Feine, the diamond jeweler, who's been there a long time, and Stone Rose, which is one of the Bar Sarah and that group, one of their places. Let's go in Feine and have a coffee. Okay, so here we are on 9th Avenue, Fayette Street. A little bit noisy. Eye doctor, eyeglass place. Kimberly's in here fixing hair. There's the #2 firehouse. Down there at the Westin Main Hotel where the farmer's market is the #1 firehouse. Stone Rose. As you can see, they're set up for outdoor dining. Sometimes they open these windows, it makes it really nice. All we did was go around the corner. Let's go in and see. This is owned by Daniela, who's a real nice Brazilian woman. She's been here a while. Let's see what's going on. Hello. There's the menu. Great people, games, artwork. This is the backyard. Great place to sit. So that's Feine $4.61 for small iced coffee. I don't know. Hopefully somebody's making money. And nice sunny seating to sit out here. So let's walk back to the car. And that's about all the vlogging I can do this morning. I got to have an appointment I have to go to, and I'll pick up probably tomorrow morning. Hopefully it'll be another sunny, beautiful day. There's the beer man for Stone Rose. I'll see you tomorrow. If you've watched my other Conshohocken vlogs, you know that I really like this Marywood Park. It has such a great feeling. We're not going to take a bunch of videos of the kids and everything, but In the background, you can see the kids on the swings. Somebody's over there blowing bubbles. Great fun. Looks like they've reseeded the grass, which is good. Some new grass coming. As I said, the trees are in bloom. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, this is a low key. Look at this beautiful thing. Pink one and a white one. There's some real white one over there. It's bright out here today. I'm gonna have to wear my shades. So let's take a walk. That was the purpose of this particular video. I said yesterday we would get out and see some more. Japanese maple, I think that is. I'm not sure. Everything's looking real nice. Springtime, baby. Like the lady said, the pizzeria lady. It's my favorite time of year. I don't know if it's my favorite time of year or not, but it's a great time of year, for sure. Rec center, all kinds of activities. We've looked at it before. And, you know, people out walking. Walking. That's really a good thing. I think that rather than go down Fayette Street, I think what we'll do is walk down Harry Street here. Oh, look, no parking. Okay. These are people, volunteers at the food bank. Beautiful day. You know, yesterday we looked at some coffee shops and things like that. So I think that's, we'll look at a couple more today. Mom and her baby, growth, family, acupuncture. See, and this is what I love about Conchi. Look at this old barn. Now, somebody could rehab this thing into a dwelling unit if they would allow you to. Wow, look at it. Look at that. Kind of a serious stone foundation and just a rough mix of local stone. You can see this once was much narrower, just wide enough for a carriage. But what I love about these stone walls, they're all 18 inches, 2 feet thick. That house isn't going nowhere. They should get rid of that tree though. That'd make a nice house. And I think that that's the kind of thing that you're going to start seeing more and more of. You know, like they do in California, houses in people's backyards. I mean, why wouldn't that be a nice house? Colonial Neighborhood Council. That's up there at the food bank, food cupboard. So now we know. I didn't know. In this church, I don't understand what's going on. You can see the insulation. It's been like this for 10 years at least. So what they're actually trying to achieve, I don't know. Presbyterian Church are doing a bunch of work. I think in one of the old vlogs we saw trees growing out of the steeple. Trees growing out of your steeple are not a good thing. Okay, this is 4th Avenue. Let's walk down here. We'll cut over. We'll go past the 4th Avenue Deli and then we'll go down to that bagel coffee shop. It's gonna be a little bit noisy over here. They're working, repairing the steps, Presbyterian Church. Morning.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
All right. How's everything going?
Can't complain.
Nope.
If I start complaining, you're gonna run away.
Nobody there.
That's Eisenberg's Deli. Back door. Oh, look at those slabs of granite they have over there. Really nice. Everybody's doing a shout out on my vlog. I think that's funny. It's a pedestrian town and these lights start flashing up here. See the flashing, and the people actually slow down to a certain extent. The speed limit is supposed to be 25, 40, 50, run the red light. I've seen it all. You gotta be careful. It's cool to be a pedestrian, but not that cool. All right, 4th Avenue Deli, great sandwiches. I'll show you their coffee setup. Coffee setup.
Have a great day.
Standard American coffee, but it's good. There's some great old buildings here in Conshohocken. You know, like the Presbyterian Church was from the 1880s. The bagel place is right here, a couple doors away. They have good coffee too. This is a great old building. All right, here we are. Our daily bagel. You can sit in the window, you can sit out here. Open daily, 7 to 2, except Sunday they don't get out of bed until 8. Nice tree blooming. Good coffee, good bagels. Strawberry shortcake, cupcake, sweet cream, cold brew. Woo! That sounds like a killer. There's a couple of girls with their dogs. All right, we're gonna cut across the street. You know, right there's a Great American Pub. We walk past that. They have the big rooftop set up, the boathouse, that oyster house right down there. West and Main, new hotel. This tower is senior living. See if we can get across the street without being murdered. Lights changing. All right, here's the cops. This is the Conchi Library. We've looked at this before. Right here. PNC Bank, Catholic Church. We've walked right down here before because right here on the next corner is the Conshohocken Elementary School, and the next corner is Poplar Street and goes right down to that East Elm Street property that we were looking at more than once. That's my listing down there. All right, so we're gonna go over, take a look at a couple more parks. But I mean, we could walk there, but I'm gonna walk back to the car down by Marywood Park and then drive down there. Well, big surprise. Here we are back at Marywood Park. Springtime. Dogwoods are starting to bloom. All right, we're here at Sutcliffe Park. They're out there mowing. Dedicated July 4th, 1930. Okay, almost 100 years it's been here. Nice ball field, pavilion, tennis, open space, basketball courts, kids playground, walking path, although it's currently under construction. You could zoom around here in your wheelchair if you needed to. Pretty nice. And I don't know if you can see it, there's a big fence for a golf driving range over there. And way out there you can see high rises in King of Prussia. I don't know if you can see that far on this video, but it gives you a pretty good idea of the location of Conshohocken. You know I love Conshohocken. You can walk around, it's quiet, everything's well maintained. Everything's changing though too. It's becoming much more expensive here in Conchi. I did find out about the bakery. Angelo's Pizzeria from down on 9th Street, just north of Christian, down in South Philly by the Italian Market, bought the bakery, which is a good thing. And they're currently baking bread and rolls for their various sandwich shops around the area. They're talking about opening a retail store there in Conshohocken near the bakery, but whether they're going to or not, who knows. All right, so I promised you a walking tour of Conshohocken. I think I've done that. You should be able to get a really good feel for Conshohocken. Now, the one thing I will say, as you can see the open expanse to the west, when the wind starts whipping out of the west, when it's the middle of the winter, it gets a little breezy around here. But, you know, weather is weather. It's not about the weather, it's about what clothes you're wearing. Other than that, when you're ready to make a move in the Philadelphia suburbs, whether it's 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months from now, I want you to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All my information's always right here below in the explanations, in the notes. And I want to help you make a smooth move in the Philadelphia suburbs. There's plenty of stuff for sale here in Conshohocken, and my guess is that the prices are all highly negotiable. Let's make your move soon. I'm Neil Fish. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again soon.